guys, so today I am going to be doing the VIET tag. It's a bunch of questions that are about my culture, my relationship to it, and I got most of these questions from Asia Jackson's video, the Filipino tag, and then I just altered it, obviously, and then I also watched a bunch of other Vietnamese tag videos. So here's 10 questions that I put together for you guys. The first question is, do you live in Vietnam? No, I do not. I have never lived in Vietnam. I was raised and lived in America for most of my life, and now I'm living in Canada. When is the last time you were in Vietnam? So yeah, I've never been to Vietnam. I am depending on how you define it, I'm first generation, so my parents are immigrants from Vietnam, and so I've never been, unfortunately, but I would like to go at some point. I think for my first time, I would really like to go with my family. What part of the country are you from? So my family is from the south. My mom is from Saigon and my dad is from Hanoi. What is your Vietnamese name? My Vietnamese name is Ngọc Giang. People always try to pronounce it, and I think it's something about the NG that they just like that sound that they just can't really get. It means precious jewel. So, name one Vietnamese dish you enjoy the most and why. Okay, there are a lot. I'm just gonna name a couple because for those of you that are watching that don't know these, the next time you go to get Vietnamese food, you can try these out because I'm sure you know pho, but maybe you've never tried these before. So bom riêu is definitely my favorite noodle dish by far. Bánh canh I really like. I usually fry it. I slice it thin and then fry it and then eat it with sugar or soy sauce. Okay, wow, sorry, I had to just look up really quickly what it was because I know what these things are by sight and I can describe it to my mom and she'll know what it is to either order it for me or make it for me, but yeah, it escaped my mind. But bánh cuông is my favorite. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And then also bánh mì. So I think I named like 4 different things. You could honestly eat them at like different times of the day. You could just have like a whole like Vietnamese food adventure. You can eat bánh tét in the morning, bom riêu for lunch, bánh cuông for dinner, and bánh mì as a snack. Boom. Yeah, no, my mom makes amazing bánh mì. I think hopefully one day I would love to open a restaurant with her. She makes some dank food. I have a spring roll video with her actually on my channel, so you guys can go check that out. I'll link it here. Okay, do you eat pho on a regular basis? No, I do not. Even when I was growing up at home, I did not eat pho regularly. We do eat it quite a bit, but it takes a really long time to make the broth, and so I don't know, my mom just wouldn't make it all the time. But we do eat rice every day. So name 2 Vietnamese household items that best resembles our culture. You can't have a Vietnamese household without fish sauce, and I know it does not smell great. Like if you have this spill on you, disgusting, so gross, but it tastes so good, and it's just like such a complex mix of flavors. Like I don't know why I'm describing fish sauce to you guys. Just go and try it if you haven't before. And then also I would probably say having a ton of Buddhas in your house. I know that not all Vietnamese people are Buddhist, but for me growing up not in Vietnam, these are just some of the things that kind of differentiated my household from other people's households. Yeah, there's a lot of like teachings and stuff that obviously if you guys are familiar with Buddhism that are very well integrated into just like your everyday life and the way that you live your life is not so much worship. And this one actually is so awesome. My dad bought this when he was living in New York in his 20s, and he was actually a candle. He's this cute little green wax Buddha. So I love him. I convinced him to let me take him with me to Vancouver, and so he lives with me now. Oh, and bonus artifact for things you have in your house, you have DVDs of Pari Baday. It's like a show. I don't know how you describe it. It's like a variety show kind of. So there's like a lot of singing and acting and skits and like stuff like that, but it's really big in the Vietnamese community. Everyone watches Paris by Night. Do you know how to speak Vietnamese? If so, say a phrase or two. Okay, so on this topic of language, growing up first gen, there was not a huge demand for me to retain my language, and I really wish that there was, because the American way is to assimilate into the culture, speak English. It's not really until I got older that I started to realize like that is wrong, and I really wish that I was fluent in Vietnamese because it was my first language, and then once I started schooling, then English quickly became my dominant language. And so my parents will speak Vietlish to me, and I will respond in English. So the phrases that I do know are all commands. Hai ba bữa, không có tắm. My mom used to say that a lot. Đi ăn, chào cô, ăn cức. I don't know why I would know that. Chó đẻ. Let me see. I'm gonna try and say like, hi, my name's Nina. Let's see what other basic information I got. Chào cô, chào chú. Tên con là Nina. Con 21 tuổi. Con không có đi làm. Con làm YouTube. Yeah, so that's kind of embarrassing, but that is my proficiency level. I can understand a lot more than I can speak, and I think it's just because I've practiced listening a lot more than I have practiced speaking, and I cannot read at all. Honestly, like, this is really, really sad. Like, I would like one day to learn this language and be able to speak it fluently, or as fluently as possible, and I think the only way that I can do that is to move to Vietnam and be there for a while, so we'll see. What is a stereotype about Vietnamese people? So I would say for Vietnamese women, hundo, it's like you work at a nail salon or you own a nail salon. There is a stereotype that Vietnamese people gamble a lot, and I would say that's like kind of true. At all our family gatherings, there's always gambling, but that's like honestly the funnest part. So like, yeah, there's a downside to it, but it's also like kind of true. So my last question is, what is your favorite thing about being Vietnamese? And I would say definitely the food. We have amazing food, and it's honestly so diverse. Like, the food from the north is very different from the south, just because obviously geographically and just different styles of cooking. And I would also say having like close family ties. I know that this is true for a lot of Asian cultures, I don't know, immigrant cultures in general, but I grew up with a very strong sense of like family first. That was honestly very nice for me to grow up knowing that and just have that value. Yeah, and I don't know, I think I didn't really think about Buddhism all that much growing up. But as I've gotten older, I've started to realize that a lot of the things that my parents are preaching to me are a lot of Buddhist teachings, and that I'm really grateful for because I've grown up in this mindset of like gratitude. So that's all the questions that I had for this Viet Tag. Feel free to take these questions. I have them posted below. And I mostly just wanted to make this video because I know what it's like being Vietnamese, being Asian, growing up in America or someplace where you are different. At the end of the day, like, that's the reality of it. Like, a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that I've grown up with have grown up with this idea that we are somehow inferior or that we shouldn't take pride in our culture, but our culture is beautiful, just like so many other ones out there. I grew up with this kind of mentality of combating mainstream culture and like, black is beautiful, black girl magic, and that's very, very, very much in conversation in the last couple of years, and I feel very blessed to have been a part of this time period. And even though like I can't really identify with black girls or black idols, it was still really great for me to see other people of color getting some like attention and spotlight for all their amazing beauty and talent. And it's really interesting because growing up, my idols were always women of color, and right now, like, I would say that my biggest idols, especially when it comes to fashion, beauty, it's really strong, independent black women. It's Rihanna, Zendaya, Michelle Obama, but I would really love to see Asian Americans that I can look up to, that I can identify with. There's certainly a lot of people making strides in that direction. So yeah, I did not mean for this video to get all political. That was not my intention, and I don't want it to be controversial. Honestly, it shouldn't be, because this is my experience and that's all I can speak from. And I know for a fact that there are other young people out there, whether or not you're Vietnamese, but that feel estranged in America in whatever way, whether it be race, gender, sexuality, whatever it is. I know that there are people that feel estranged, but just know, like, if anything from that you take from this video, just know that you deserve to be here. You deserve to be an American, you deserve to be a Canadian, whatever it is that you identify as. You don't need somebody else to tell you that's who you are. I was literally told when I was 8 years old that this girl would not be my partner because I was not American, and I believed it until I was, I think, in like 5th or 6th grade, until my teacher was like, no girl, you American. And so that's really, really damaging, especially to your sense of self. And I don't want people to grow up with this idea of like self-hatred or that you can't be proud of your culture. And I really hope that this was insightful. But I hope that you have a lovely day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.